Hey, Prime members! Have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free-podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free-podcast to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
You know that feeling when your favorite brand really gets you? Deliver that feeling to your customers every time. Memorable moments like these are key to building your business and your brand. Klaviyo turns your customer data into real-time connections across AI-powered email, SMS, and more, making every moment count so you can continue to build smarter, more meaningful relationships with your customers. Build smarter digital relationships with your customers and make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
Listeners, welcome. I am sure that you are still feeling the reverberations of what happened this past Sunday night. If you don't know what I'm talking about, crawl out of the well you have fallen into and embrace the fact that Christopher Michael Louise DeRosa is pretty much an actual Real Housewife of New Jersey. If you watched the post-finale, non-finale reunion watch party this past Sunday on Bravo, within the first 10 seconds, you saw Housewives Secret Service agent Chris DeRosa greeting, kissing, chatting with all of the women of the Housewives of New Jersey. Chris, what does superstardom feel like for you? How have the past few days been?
Well, since I've basically been off the internet for the past few days because I've been working so much, it feels exactly the same. But I'm glad that that's all that was aired of me because they filmed me like all day long. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like this is going to be horrifying. But it was actually good. I don't know. I look like a freak show with
that's a bold gold chain you're wearing. I zoomed in on it to see what the jewelry choice was. I loved it. All black with a gold chain. I thought was absolutely gorge.
Okay, thank you.
There were other producers on camera as well. They simply did not deliver for me visually. No offense to any of them, but only one of you knew that you would be achieving superstardom on that episode. The others were just sort of like, hey, it's a day at work. But they could learn from you. And as always, I'm incredibly proud of you. And the response on your page, Instagram, has been an absolute delight. Like you are just the idol of so many.
And the funny thing is it's all like the exact same two shots because it's the only two frames of the whole show that I'm
in. Is there anything that you can tell us that you are legally allowed to share about the experience of doing it? And if you don't want to, we can just move on.
At the end of it, I walked away being like, well, that was easy. And then I was like, well, that's absolutely not what I should be saying right now if to be delivering a quality product. And so it was actually pretty easy. We just sat there and watched it and then walked away. So, and you all saw exactly what happened. So
I know a lot of people are talking about what is the future of Real Housewives of New Jersey based on your performance this past Sunday. Clearly, the choice is that the reboot be centered around you.
Okay, I don't think that's really
absolutely.
true.
There's absolutely no question about this at this point, where we're going to start gender mixing what a Real Housewife is on Bravo. And you already live in Jersey. I will move to New Jersey. And on my first episode, I will enter the way Siggy Flicker did on her first episode with a face full of bandages from plastic surgery. And we will be the real Real Housewives. Speaking of, how is this for a segue? Listenership. When I came here last week and I said to you, I need to get Botox, please give me your recommendations. When I tell you dozens upon dozens of people reached out, I now have a Rolodex full of the finest plastic surgeons in the tri-state area when that next step happens. I won't reveal anyone's names, but I was truly shocked. And Chris, I should offline with you about this. about how many people we know very well who wrote me and said, please don't use my name. I get injectable. I mean, these are people. I'm like semi-intimate with, where I would call them and be like, how, after decades of knowing you, did I not know that you do this? Because people keep it a secret. Apparently, I'm the only person that tells the entire world via this podcast every time I wipe my ass. Other people have a little dignity and privacy. I don't know. I shun those. So thank you all. That very day, this podcast dropped at 6 a.m. I have my appointment booked at noon. At 2:30, I was at a place near Grand Central called Peachy, where I received my treatment and I was back home by 4:30.
They also like did a face mapping of you that was like, I saved that on my phone. I might need to change like your contact photo in my phone for that because it was like the moon landing, like coordinates.
It was
like,
quite an experience. I'm going to post probably next week a full video of the entire experience. But when I went there, apparently there are 3 levels of what you can get, and they go natural, minimal, and frozen. And when the nurse practitioner said frozen, I was like, this is not a joke. You're actually, no, that's a level. Yeah. My first question was, why is minimal level 2 and not before natural? But that's like a horse of a different color. Botox, I forgot, is an actual brand as like Ozempic. So what I ended up getting was like the Wegovy of Botox, which is, I'm not joking about this. It's spelled Xeomin and is pronounced Zeman. So when the nurse practitioner said, we're going to be using Zeman, I looked at her and I said, Myra, if you're about to tell me I'm going to get my face blasted with Zeman, I'm going to tell you it's just another Wednesday in this house.
You didn't say this.
I absolutely said it to Myra. Called Myra at Peachy and asked her if I said it.
Oh my God.
I cannot describe the look on her face. She wanted to laugh, but knew that it was inappropriate. And I apparently was the first faggot who actually made that joke to her, which I find unconscionable. I got a little bit on my forehead and a little bit on the crow's feet. It looks very natural. I don't know that you would even notice it unless you actually know me in person. But if you do and you see me, you'll just think that I look well rested. I opted for natural because, I'm a comic. I need to move my face.
Stay in the natural realm.
I absolutely will. Take it
from me. Okay. Listen to me now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is some Real Housewife advice I'm getting. Go for it.
I've been filming something and I am at an undisclosed location and filming something and I cannot comment further. However, what I will say to you is it is crucial that we stay at the natural realm.
Okay. Oh, I really can't wait for the people to find out what you're working on.
Natural realm. Dominick.
I can only stay there. This was plenty, but it's been quite an education. I really had never had it before. And just the way it's every day, it just smooths out a little more. It takes like 14 days to like fully settle. And I'm thrilled. So the next thing I'm going to ask the listeners is, I have a tattoo on my back of the Tasmanian devil, which I cannot believe I'm admitting publicly. I need to get it removed because I've been on the beach and I forget it's there and it's utterly humiliating. So again, if you're in the tri-state area, please help me get this cartoon off my back. It is, I'm not really,
is it real?
Chris, I've been on the beach with you a billion times. Yeah, I have.
I know you have a tattoo, but do you really want it removed? Is what I'm asking you.
100%. I cannot walk around like this. I'm a single man in the prime of my life. I cannot have this tattoo from this 70s cartoon on my back.
I wish you had a barbed wire tattoo on your arm. That would be fun.
Oh God, no. Or what, a tramp stamp or something? Absolutely not.
A Superman tattoo. Not. Remember that realm of life? That was so fun.
Yeah. Last week, Cyrus Family, great episode. Lots of positive feedback from all of you. It was so much fun. I'm at dinner with my parents on Friday night. And as we're eating, my mother goes, did I ever tell you what my father did to me regarding Achy Breaky Heart? I guess I wasn't living at home in 1992. And my mother, which is when Billy Ray Cyrus's Achy Breaky Heart came out. Apparently, he was not the first person to sing it. It was not an original song. He had taken it from someone else. Who knows?
Dominick, that's even worse.
I know.
That makes it worse.
We should deep dive into the people who did it first and ask them if they regret giving it to him. But I guess my mother was obsessed with the song at the time. I don't remember this at all. And she would listen to it on a cassette in the car incessantly. And one day my dad had enough, and in the middle of it, while they were driving down Jericho Turnpike, he ejected the cassette and threw it out the window of the car.
Oh my God. I can't see your dad doing that. He's too nice.
Oh, my dad's a huge fan of throwing shit out of car windows. I'll tell you some other stuff. Not people, but it's like, it's one of his go-to frustration comedy moves. And I couldn't stop laughing. My mother said she's never gotten over it. And he never replaced the cassette. Listen, before we start prefixing, there's one more thing. We spoke last week about Sandra Lee, the former kind of first lady of New York, Governor Cuomo's ex-girlfriend, and he uttered some remark which ended their relationship, and she won't reveal it. Well, a listener wrote me, who I can't name, who may or may not have worked in government at the time, and they'd heard this story for years.
Listen. We have eyes and
everywhere,
ears
everywhere. We have people everywhere. And she said that the prevailing theory, because Sandra Lee had breast cancer a couple of years before she and Andrew Cuomo broke up, and she was very public about it, but that he had made some like disparaging remark about her body and cancer and the mastectomy and all this shit, and that he had said something like snide and horrible, and that was what ended it. So again, we are not a fact-based podcast, but I mean, it sort of tracks for me. I don't know.
But it wasn't, you're a bad chef that we said last week.
No, it wasn't these eggs taste like shit. It was something like, I hate your tits, or like something horrible like that.
Yeah,
like
horrifying.
Something bad.
Well, Mr. Nipple Ring really should talk, by the way.
Right? A double set from what we understand, right?
Yeah. He should talk about people's tits.
You know, we should do a section of the Pre-Fixe, I think, where we sort of highlight, you know, I don't think people understand the amount of correspondence you and I have with the listeners of this podcast. It is a delightful part-time job, just interacting with everyone with like their tips and their opinions. And it's really been wonderful. And I don't know what I would call it. Do we call it the Listener Corner? I know exactly what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the Clist Hood. That's what we're going to call it. A Clist Hood. That's it. Let's go under the Clist Hood and see what the listeners are saying.
Okay. Speaking of that, there's a bunch of them are messaging me something about Dolly Parton yelling at Billy Ray Cyrus publicly. Do we know about this?
I know nothing about this. Nothing.
Apparently, I think your fix happened in real life. Dolly v. Billy, heartbroken country icon 78 is ordering Billy Ray Cyrus to stop tearing apart his family and get help.
Wow.
This is August 9th, 2024.
Wow.
A bitter Billy Ray Cyrus is leaving achy breaks everywhere. They wrote it wrong. Achy breaky hearts everywhere in his wake after he was caught trashing both estranged wife Fire Rose and ex-wife Tish Shirish in a tired Colin tape and leaked last month.
Interesting. So that happened on August 9th, and our podcast aired on August 7th. You're welcome, Dolly and Billy Ray. You're welcome, Cyrus family.
Dominic, that's a win. That's at least a half a win in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
When will we get the recognition we properly deserve for repairing Hollywood, Chris? When will it happen?
Okay, meanwhile, all it says is his family members, including Dolly Parton, are upset. Like, it's like not even, like nothing even happened.
All right, we got to start prefixing. We've been here a few minutes. Celine Dion, the most greatest singer in the world.
Correct.
Coming out, we are not doing a political post here, but somehow Donald Trump used My Heart Will Go On at a rally, and Celine Dion's people were like, what the fuck?
Can you imagine if you were sitting there like waiting for Trump to come on stage and the song that plays is My Heart Will Go On?
It's so bizarre. It's such a bizarre choice. She released, go to her Instagram page, listeners. She released a statement, or her management released a statement, which was like, we unequivocally did not give permission for this. And the last line of it is, but really, that song, that's the last line of the Instagram post. And I think that's what we're all thinking. It's like, of all the songs, why... That's like the most gentle, romantic, the opposite of everything that campaign stands for.
Incredible.
It's so bizarre.
Incredible.
So she said no. And Lara Trump, who I believe is the co-chair of the RNC, wonder how she got that job.
Who even is that?
She's Eric Trump's wife. She released a statement and said, we're going to keep playing it even if I have to sing the fucking thing. Okay, Lara, make sure you warm up first. Stop it.
Goodbye.
Olympics, they're done.
Wait, hold on. It's just hitting me. It's like,
yeah,
if you don't have the authorization to play this song, blah, blah, blah. They're like, actually, we're going to just do it more because you said that. It's like, okay, no.
See, that's their energy, which is why this song is not that energy at all. Like, fuck with Turn Down for What or something. Not My Heart Will Go On. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Who's picking the music here?
Turn Down
Just
for
use
what?
the Kid Rock catalog. Does he not have enough songs for you to embarrass yourself with?
He'll give them to you.
Please.
He'll give them to you.
The Olympics are done. Tom Cruise closed out the Olympics by
Did you watch any of this?
hanging from his dick from the top of the Stade de Française or whatever the fuck it's called. As promised, he did what he does. I mean, Tom Cruise is a stunt queen and a stunt man. And he did all of those things. He pulled the stunt like a queen, grabbed the Olympic flag and said, I'll see you in Los Angeles. And if you think Dominick's face is frozen, wait till you bring the brightness up on your TV for this, Auntie Thomasina. Madonna mia. He did his thing. It was fine. I did. It was exactly what it reminded me of Gaga jumping into the Super Bowl a little bit, but with just more cameras.
Oh, really? It wasn't even like, oh, brother.
It was, I mean, it was impressive, but it was sort of exactly what you thought it was going to be.
One, you're his biggest fan. And two, he like hangs onto the side of planes all the time. And you're like, so this is
how dare you? How dare you slide that in and think that I won't pause and cancel this entire podcast? I love the Mission Impossible films. I'm not a Tom Cruise fan.
I'm delirious. And so it's just so funny to like that. I just needed to, have my fun.
So he did his thing. The Olympics are over. Catherine and William, the royals of the United Kingdom, were featured in a video from the UK talking about the British Olympic team, thanking them for their service and their performances and whatever. And so Kate and Wills appeared in this, and everyone is a Twitter because Wills has a beard and people are losing their mind because he showed up with scruff.
I want to see it.
Saying things, a lot of people are like, wow, so sexy. I wouldn't go that far, but he looks good. He looks like a man.
Well, I feel that Harry was the first one to have a beard that's like,
oh, maybe he's trying to compete.
But I'm saying like they used to not be able to have beards.
Right. Like in the army.
Do you know what I mean? Like they weren't allowed to have facial hair, I don't think. So it's like this especially crazy, which I get. I mean, when I Google William Beard, it's all like old photos of him with a beard.
Oh, no, this is a new, and it's not a full beard, it's scruff.
Now I'm seeing it. I mean, it does help, I will say.
But here's the other thing. In the video, Kate is wearing either the same sweater from her I'm Still Alive video or a very similar sweater to it. So
it looks to me from memory the exact same sweater. So, does she have any clothes?
What I'm thinking is that they probably shot it the same day. They're like, while we have her here, let's just shoot everything we need for the next year and get it over with. It was basically like they're shooting pickups. Like she's in front of a camera and has HMU. They're like, let's just get everything done. So
they're like, I need 4 scenes of you like doing something around your house. So here, change into 4
I'm fine with a tight schedule. I'm fine with the economy of time.
But at least with that, we make them change. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like at least their shirt, not.
Did you see this Australian breakdancer called? Her name is Ray Gun.
Yes.
Okay. She got 0 points.
Dominick,
she literally got 0 points at the Olympics.
Dominick, this is the thing. If this woman can go and compete in the Olympics and get 0 points, what's stopping us?
What would we do? What would our sport be?
What's stopping us? Breakdancing, obviously.
They need to create a new category for us, like synchronized faggotry.
Talking. Synchronized talking.
But our talking's not synchronized. It's a battle.
We'd really have to work on it to qualify for the Olympics.
Gay conversation, the Olympic sport.
Yeah.
We'd both lose. We would both get 0 points because we would
lose to Los Culturistas, obviously. So we would be, we would get maybe the bronze medal.
Haven't heard of them. Moving along, Rebecca Bregman, one of our most valued friends and listeners, sent us this headline from the Daily Mail, which is It's just, this is the exact headline from the Daily Mail, folks. Alec Baldwin and very busty wife, Ilaria, attend charity event in the Hamptons 1 month after shock end to Rust shooting trial. And it is accompanied with a photo of Ilaria with either a very, very fresh breast augmentation or the push-up bra to end all push-up bras. Now, to be fair to Ilaria, I know that she's been pretending to be Spanish and isn't actually Spanish, but God help me, she's starting to look like Penelope fucking Cruz here. I'm telling you.
She's like, oh, you guys don't think I'm fucking Spanish? Watch this.
Watch this,
I'm
bitches.
gonna be, you're going to put me right next to Salma Hayek and Penelope Cruz, and I'm going to look like the third of them.
I mean, we'll give the flowers when they're necessary. She looks beautiful. I mean, she looks here like she is prepping to be on a reality show on which she will not be stressed because her husband got away with murder. So now she's just like, here are my tits. Let's get back to the Hamptons.
Where's the show?
Well, I'm sure they're still shooting it now.
No, but Dominic, I don't think they've started.
I don't know. She has a reality show body right now. I think that if it's not in earnest, they're shooting something. Like the way she looks, she's always been quite beautiful, but she is fully like, she's got the RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars glow up right now. She's got a reunion glow up.
I'm making a prediction right now. I bet you we never see that show.
All right.
I don't think it's even going to exist.
I don't doubt anything that's said on this podcast. We have predicted the future better than Nostradamus here when it comes to pop culture. So let's see what happens.
I don't think the show's ever going to film. I don't even think they're ever going to film it, is what I'm saying to you. Now that he's off scot-free because of
they've got legal
corruption.
They have legal bills to pay still. They've got to.
I'm telling you, I don't think it's going to happen.
They have 17 children and he can't book work right now. They've got to do something.
That is true, but there's something about me that says that show isn't happening.
All right, well, let's see.
Anyway.
If the show doesn't happen, I think we should commit to doing a version of it where we dress up as them. And
we dress up as them.
Yeah. Maybe that should be my carnival outfit. Ilaria and
that should be your carnival outfit as being Hilaria Baldwin.
I got the tits.
I mean, regardless, why on earth is very busty wife in the title of this article?
Because the Daily Mail is the greatest non-journalistic faux journalism publication of all time. I mean, we know people who run podcasts specifically to shit on the Daily Mail, and it's warranted. They're insane. They're absolutely insane.
Insane.
In a Baldwin adjacent story, remember Ireland Baldwin, the child of Kim Basinger and Alec Baldwin? Well, she had a baby a year ago who has not yet met her aunts and uncles. Her aunts and uncles are all of Ilaria Baldwin's children. So apparently last week, Ireland's child met her Spanish-named, very Caucasian aunts and uncles after 1 year of life. So apparently the trial kept Ilaria and Alec separated from Ireland. I don't know if Alec had met his grandchild, but the child met its aunts and uncles this week. So everything could not be going better at Casa Baldwin at this point. And yes, real. I'm saying Casa on purpose, racistly.
When you even have Ireland coming around, little piggy herself.
The biggest story from this past week, and I think it happened right after we dropped last week's pod, of course, was Taylor Swift canceling those concerts in Vienna. How terrible. I actually was getting choked up online reading tweets from people who had booked vacations months, if not a year ago, to go to Vienna and see her there. And then these concerts getting canceled with these people having no opportunity because the tour is sold out of like getting other seats to see her. As just, these people are devastated. Like these people will have PTSD from these Vienna concerts being canceled.
Yeah.
Not the wrong decision, by the way. We're not skewering Taylor, but
no, not at all. Also, people are dying everywhere, so people can fucking get over it. And I also think that you're in Vienna, so go and have a great vacation outside. Yes, it's sad, obviously, but I'm not getting choked up about anyone missing a concert.
Oh, I'm telling you would if you saw these videos of children crying. I'm telling you, because my go-to if you're in Vienna is go to Salzburg, take the Sound of Music tour. It will change your entire life.
Yeah.
I don't think 12-year-olds give a shit. They don't even know what the Sound of Music is. They're angry at their parents. They don't know who ISIS is. They're just furious. They're furious.
I'm so sorry. Why are you flying your 12-year-old to another country to go see a concert?
Well, because people like to spend money on frivolous things.
Sure. I'm just saying.
The View. I mean, this is a busy week if we didn't lead with this.
Yeah, it really is.
There's a rumor going around that The View might possibly be canceled. When I tell you that this would be the mistake of all, I don't even understand why someone would consider canceling this program. Is it problematic? Yeah, every day. Does it also make a headline?
Every moment of it is
literally every day. Like this has to be a false story. There's no way ABC is considering canceling The View. It's a landmark program.
Yeah. One of them is like getting pushed out or something probably. And they're trying to put that in there to be like, drum up some press. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is coming from the inside.
It is coming from the inside. Maybe from someone disgruntled, maybe from a host who knows that she's about to get the boot. I have absolutely no idea. But ABC, when I tell you this would be the dumbest move of all time, it's like the talk is going away. Not that they ever threatened you in that space, but you are that entire space. It's sort of like...
Yeah, you're the only thing left.
Well, that's the thing. It's sort of like canceling American Idol. It's like, don't. I know not as many people are watching it, but don't. We're already apocalyptic enough. Don't take the few things we have left. And The Feud is one of them.
The few tentpoles, BS of New York society,
of
let
life,
alone.
Chris, of life. Yeah. We're not a planet without The View. We need these old women screaming at us every day. Please. Can you imagine a world where you don't get a daily access to Anna Navarro? What would this be? What would this be?
Because Whoopi and Joy are still there. So it's not like it's like all these new people and they're like, well, what is this show now? You still have your OGs on there and it's just, you got to keep them.
Well, the hero of 2024, obviously, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. They did a gender reveal. So if you don't want to know the gender of Gypsy's child, please hit mute right now. She's having a girl.
Alert for you.
She's having a girl, and you know how I feel about this family tradition being carried on. So now she's going to have a daughter, and in 14 years, we will probably be here on this podcast talking about the daughter killing Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So welcome to the family, baby Blanchard. I believe also the ex-husband took a paternity test. I don't have all of the details on that, but they want to put the rumor to rest that there's any chance that Ryan Anderson might be the father of this baby. And that's that. So her life continues to move forward. She does not give a fuck. Is Fixing Famous People going to send her a shower gift?
Yeah, we should get her a baby onesie that says Fixing Famous People. Or like God,
oh my God. Like that would be fantastic.
Or like God Bless America on it.
Yeah. All right. Steve Martin will not be playing Tim Walz on Saturday Night Live this year. He had a conversation with Lorne Michaels, and apparently he just doesn't want to do it. So we will find out shortly who will be joining Maya Rudolph as the Harris Walz comedy team on SNL. Speaking of SNL and Las Culturistas, Bowen Yang was on Watch What Happens Live this week. And here's this week's mystery. Last week we had Sandra Lee. This week we have this one. He said there was a male host of SNL who made several cast members cry, but he would not reveal the name. He said at the Wednesday read-throughs at SNL, whatever week this gentleman hosted, he was so vocal and mean about hating all of the material that several people were in tears by the end of it, but he will not say who it is. So
I need to, we need to find out.
I want to talk about it now, but I need a spreadsheet and I don't know the time frame. Like it could have, by Bowen's been there for a couple of years. So we'll this weekend pull out a spreadsheet and try to figure out who it is. But if you have any guesses, please let us know and we will reveal those in the Klisthood. Next
also,
week.
I want them to be able to be more vocal about when people are monsters on that show.
Yeah.
Because even when he answered it, you could tell that he was very nervous that he was answering the question.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I want them to be able to be like, oh no, this person was a fucking piece of shit to us.
Sure.
Like, I want to know that.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably afraid that'll prevent people from coming on the show, but at least it'll weed out all the meanies, because that's like the opportunity of a lifetime. Some casting news. A true goddess who I don't know if we've ever even mentioned on the show. Oh, we have because of the preposterousness of her fucking Michael Douglas in that Marvel movie. But Michelle Pfeiffer will be headlining the new Yellowstone spinoff. That's all I know about it. That's all I need to know about it. I will now probably watch it just because she's on it, because I absolutely love her. But give her the Emmy already. They probably haven't even written or shot it, but this is obviously her third act moment, and let's give it to her. Broadway news, Glenn Ross is coming to Broadway with Bob Odenkirk and Kieran Culkin. This is going to be
Dominic. This was a 4-alarm fire for you.
Like we were totally
a twin. The group chat for a good 5 minutes.
That's going to be something else. I don't know who's playing what role, but that's going to be something else. Stranger Things is coming to Broadway. This musical's been been up in London for a while. I mean, I almost went to go see it when I was there to see Pussycat Boulevard, but when I heard it was 3 hours long, I was like, I can't do it.
What is it about?
I don't know if it's like the Stranger Things origin story or just like an offshoot play like the Harry Potter one was, where it's like the same universe. I think it was mostly well reviewed, but I don't know. Broadway next season is going to be insane. Gypsy with Audra McDonald, Robert Downey Jr., Stranger Things, Kristen Chenoweth. Like, what the fuck is happening?
We need Dominic.
Keanu Reeves and Waiting for Godot. Like, this is an insane Hollywood year on Broadway. We're going to need to save money or get press passes.
Yeah, we really need to get press passes.
Yeah, it's time. We're a legitimate organization now. We need to be seeing things for free. I also need my next Botox to be free, Peachy. So listen to me.
Speaking of legitimate organizations, I have to give a shout out to Chelsea Devantez for being written about in people.com.
The Bible itself.
Yes.
Ooh.
Very exciting. Talking about her memoir, talking about the redacted part of her memoir. And it's just, when your friends become celebrities, it's hard, but it's also, I'm so proud of her and it's so beautiful.
Congratulations, Chelsea. An actual mother mothering this podcast. Yeah, she is mother, to quote the kids. She's mother. She ate. Yeah. That's it. She absolutely ate. New documentaries coming out. A Gary Coleman documentary. We're big fans of Gary Coleman on this podcast.
And his breakout role of living in the
Port Authority locker. Right. Fuck Different Strokes. We like the TV movie where he was living at the bus station in a locker.
And could call the best horses. And
a documentary that alleges his death was under suspicious circumstances, by the way. So I'm curious to see how that pans out.
Why can't we let these people rest?
But why? Well, they're gone. Why? They're not. They're in another realm watching with popcorn. A new Milli Vanilli documentary brought to you by the surviving member of Milli Vanilli, which I watched a couple of interviews yesterday regarding this documentary. It's going to be very sad because that other guy,
I don't like that,
passed away, from all the negative publicity. And I was watching all these clips from the 90s and possibly before you were born when the Milli Vanilli controversy happened, and they made such a big deal out of it. Like, it was insane that people were lip syncing and ruined these guys' lives. They had to give back their Grammy. They name check a lot of people in this documentary that they were afraid to in the 90s about who's at fault, including Clive Davis, which I'm assuming they're comfortable doing now because, has he been off the toilet since 2012? I don't know. Where is Clive Davis? After he killed Whitney Houston, I guess he just was like, oh, I guess I've done enough damage. I'm going to go back to Calabasas and sit on the toilet. Where is he?
Also, why is this something that I need to go into further again?
I don't know. As a person who was alive and sort of into it at the time, I'm definitely curious to see. He is 60, the surviving member, close to 60.
Who is to blame? They lip synced.
Apparently, when they signed up to do this, they're German or they were based in Germany, they didn't speak English well and they signed an English contract. And they thought they were going to be singing. And then it just turned out they weren't. And they just sort of had to go along for the ride because they signed the contract and then had their lives basically ruined and had to absorb all the blame for the lip syncing and misrepresenting themselves when, it just turns out it had nothing to do with them. When you're young and you're on the verge of superstar, they became famous very quickly, Milli Vanilli. Yeah. I remember they were so gorgeous and the songs were so sexy that when they came out, did I say sexy? I meant catchy, but I guess I thought they were sexy, which is why my brain said that. The songs were so catchy, they just became famous in a flash and couldn't stop it.
Now that you're saying all this, it makes me want to watch it. Like now I'm back in. You know what I mean? Like it is, yeah.
2 more tiny items. Avatar 3 to be released next year. I can't remember what your take is. You didn't like The Way of Water, right? Avatar 2?
It was fine. It was 45 minutes too long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, much like the other movies, very predictable.
Mm.
And I didn't like the frame rate of they did some
CGI
frame
stuff.
rate where like, even when stuff is so crazy, it's very clear. And I'm like, well, it shouldn't be because our eyes don't work that way.
Yeah.
And so it was like, there were parts of it in the action parts where they were fighting where it looked like a video game.
Agreed. I felt like visually it was like less arresting than the first one. Like it seemed to almost be a step backward.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go see it. I'm
sure.
not.
Well, the title of it is Avatar 3, Fire and Ash, which seemed a little Game of Thrones to me, but sure. I don't like you. That was what you came up with? All right.
I mean, James Cameron is
James
in
Cameron.
a tower all by himself, like just like speaking random, like he's like scrawling on a piece of paper and being like fire and ash, like, like he's like just doing his own thing and thinking like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like he's just alone in a tower by himself, like just like speaking to no one and like thinking he's like the best, like the smartest.
I think that's accurate. I picture James Cameron living in a tower, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The final item is that the first trailer for Snow White, the live action Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler as Snow White and Gal, is it Gadot or Gadot?
It's Gadot.
Gal Gadot as the evil queen has been released. Let's start with the positive. Gal Gadot appears to have been born to play the evil queen. She looks absolutely ferocious and gorgeous and like she's having a wonderful time doing it.
They keep kicking her around everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's really funny. I'm surprised she still has a career because I don't think she's a terribly good actress, but she's in everything.
Yeah. I mean, Meryl Streep, she is not, but Wonder Woman, I don't know how challenging of I really like
she's
wonderful in it. Yeah. But it's not going to be Oscar nominated. I don't know if she would be for this either, but she looks like, when you just see an actor in a role and like, that they're like, oh, this is fucking fun. In the few frames of her in the trailer, that's what's happening. It's almost like she knew that she already looked like this woman. So she's like, show me the money. She'll get a Golden Globe nomination for it. Now, Rachel Zegler, the star of West Side Story as Snow White. I like this woman. I think she was wonderful in West Side Story. I don't know. Everything else about the trailer disappointed me. It looked very dark. It looked very not fun. The dwarves don't even look fun. She looks, I don't know, mildly miscast. And her big, bright yellow dress in the midst of all of this very sort of like Eastern European brown forest shit just looks sort of ridiculous in a way that it didn't in the cartoon.
The live actions, there's very few of them that are actually good. Like for real.
It was giving me when Into the Woods, the movie, which I didn't dislike, it just wasn't the Broadway show. Like it was just much darker and grayer. How come when we redo things, we think that making them brown or gray is the way to say, oh, we're taking a serious moment here and we
don't want that.
No, we don't want it.
It's Snow White.
Just give me the live version of what I've already fallen in love with.
Take a page from Wicked and submerse me into.
Because no one has complained about that trailer. If anything, we're afraid that the movie is going to be so good it might hurt the musical. Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, put me in this world of like color and fun, and it's a forest and it's an enchanted forest. And it's you know what I'm saying? Not, I'm next to a mulch pile and there's like moss and a stick.
Yeah, it's Snow White.
What I mean? That's what And Beauty and the Beast was the same way. It was like, what is her name? The one from Harry Potter. What is her freaking name?
Hermione?
Hermione.
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson. Yeah, sorry. Emma Watson. Love her. Great actor. I think she's an incredible actor.
She is.
I actually don't think she gets the roles that she should because I think she's such a good actor. It was terrible. And you were just watching Hermione in it and you're like, why is Hermione like Belle? She looks like she's 15. And then this clitoral beast is like trying to like statutory rape her the whole time. And you're like, what is this movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, she looks like a little girl. She doesn't look like a woman. Whereas like the Belle looks like a woman. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was just like It's always wrong. The casting is always wrong. I don't know.
I try to go into it with a level head because there's no way anyone's going to remake something that's beloved that's going to hit it out of the park in every category.
I will say the one that I was the least upset about was The Little Mermaid.
Which I enjoyed, by the way. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I thought that the main girl put her stamp on those iconic songs and they were good.
Halle Berry? Like, wow, Halle Berry? Halle Berry? I can't remember.
No, not Halle Berry, Dominic.
Halle Berry? I enjoyed The Little Mermaid, but I just enjoyed it. I wasn't like, oh, wow, that was the zhuzh it needed. Like, I still like the original better, but it was lovely.
Speaking of Disney, at that like weird conference that I keep being shown on Instagram.
Oh, D23, like that annual Disney. Yeah.
What is that?
It's sort of like DragCon or BravoCon. It's the same. They've been doing it for a couple of years and they honored a bunch of people this week as Disney legends. And Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan were there talking about the new Parent Trap. Did you see Lindsay Lohan?
They released the title.
Yeah.
And it is now called Freakier Friday, which I love
that. P.S. If you have a chance, Google Lindsay. She is an absolute dream. Like she has never looked better. She is back. And this is it. She's going to be a major Hollywood star after this. I'm not joking.
Does she have 75 filters on that one photo? Yes.
But it worked. I mean, it absolutely worked. I want to go to her fucking injectable person too, because she is like snatched. She looks absolutely beautiful.
And on that Lindsay episode, we always said like, oh, we always say she's back. I think this is really
this is the photo alone of her. The one photo I saw of her is an announcement that she's like, now I won't be fucked with.
Incredible.
Yeah, she looks great.
And none other than, Hollywood royalty, Jamie Lee Curtis, to usher her back into her career.
Absolutely. Who better?
Yeah.
Today we are fixing Drake. I'm going to leave it at that. It's a fun episode. Ashley Ray is with us. Her knowledge of Drake is beyond frighteningly.
She's out of control. It's
prolific.
Amazing.
And I learned a lot. I wasn't a giant fan of Drake at the beginning of the fix. I remain not a giant fan of his, but getting deeper into the story and being educated by people younger than me who are actual fans or semi-fans of his, very interesting. He's a strange one. So we think you'll like this. And that's coming up after this very vital message.
I mean, I don't need to introduce her. You know her and love her from her incredibly, wildly famous and successful podcast, TV I Say with Ashley Ray. It's Ashley Ray. Welcome to the show.
I am so glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. I love your show. Everyone I know loves your show. I think most of the listeners love your show. And so I'm ready. I've been chomping at the bit. To talk about.
And I mean, most of my show is me fixing TV shows with my opinions. So I'm ready for this.
Okay, good. Dominic,
Christopher,
are you ready for this? Because I feel that you're.
I'm ready. Listeners, Ashley, we are fixing Drake is who we are fixing today. To use Chris DeRosa's patented self-interviewing style, am I a fan of Drake? No, I am not. Could I name 5 Drake songs if a weapon was put to my temple? I could not.
Wow.
Have I always instinctively? No, I couldn't. No, I could not.
Really?
Have I always instinctively disliked Drake for some unexplained reason? Yes, I have. I don't know why. I don't know that this next few minutes is going to help that. I think it's going to make it worse. Ashley, did you pick Drake's name from a list that we sent you, or did you actively pursue wanting to fix Drake?
Kind of both. Okay, there was a list, but Drake immediately rose to the top for me because, I mean, okay, if you aren't a big Drake person, and I will say I was a Jimmy person. Okay, I was from Degrassi.
Sure.
Okay.
Was on that. Okay. I was a Jimmy person when he started making music. Didn't really care so much. And then something incredible happened where Beyonce kind of gave him the crown of being her like male writer. He did Mine. He did Heated on, Renaissance.
So I did not know that.
Yes. Yeah. So that to me was what kind of made me go, yeah, I love Heated. I love Mine. Sure. Like some of my favorite Beyonce songs do have Drake behind them. And if you listen to his one album, I think it was like the one that was kind of like, I see, I don't even really listen to his album. It was like his one that was kind of dance hall music. It's very Beyonce
I need a one
inspired.
dance.
That's
everyone knows that
very,
song. Hello.
Yeah. That's
I need a
very
one dance.
Beyonce.
You know that song, Dominic.
I do know
and
it.
Like,
I do know. So that's one.
Yeah. And then I got very into him when it was like Nice for What and that era of Drake. And I was like, you know what? I'm fine with Drake. If Beyonce trusts him as an artist, I can at least grant him that. And then all of a sudden, there were the rumors of, why is Drake texting 15-year-old girls? And that's when it was like, oh, hold the phone. Like, okay. Like,
and then we all saw his penis, sadly.
Yeah.
Or not so sadly for some.
Some people were very impressed.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's when I started being like, okay, I'm not going to seek his music out now. You know, and then he did the like For All the Dogs and like the stuff with Future where it would just seem like he was so bitter about Rihanna. And that's when I started being like, okay, this dude has issues.
Okay, I forgot all about the Rihanna stuff. That's like, he really has been in our lives for way longer than I would give him credit.
And the Rihanna
she was legit. I mean, Ponder Replay, she was 17 when that came out, right? So this is like, she's a generational icon, but you don't think of her that way.
And it's also like the story between them is like 14 years long. Like they were off and on dating. And then she was very continuously like, I will not be your girlfriend, Drake. I will not be your girlfriend. And he would not let it go to the point where even his last album has like diss tracks towards Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. And it's like, dude, get over it. Like, why are you still talking about these women who rejected you? He still talks about Serena, and it's like, get on, like, move on. Like, the whole time you were hiding a child. Oh, also the hiding a child. That I think also solidified it for a lot of people of, I don't think Drake is a good guy.
It seemed so unsurprising to me when that came out, that story about the secret child. The needle was not moved, is basically the point.
It was moved for me because I felt like he had this vision of like, I'm going to marry Rihanna and I'm going to be this amazing like black father who's like, here's my legacy. And then he got a stripper pregnant and was like, God damn it, I messed it up. Oh, God.
Like, fuck.
Can we just keep this a secret? And now it's like out. And now there's like rumors of a second hidden child. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you'd hide one child, you'd probably hide another one.
Well, I will say, like, he has risen to a level of fame to having secret children. Like, he really is, not for nothing, one of, if not probably the most famous rapper alive. I don't know. Like, God, he's very famous. Like,
he's very famous.
He really is
very famous. He is very famous. But this is terrible. You guys are going to disagree, but when it comes to like him being like a rap icon, he's on the same plate as Will Smith for me. Just like, no, you're not.
Which he is an icon, by the way. You mean the highest level you could be? Yes.
No, I mean, it's like they don't feel like rap stars to me. They just feel like occasional rappers. I don't want to be incendiary, but I think Deborah Harry would be a better rapper than either of these two artists.
Okay, I mean, I will say I do really like the mixtape. If you're reading this, it's too late. That was the mixtape that made me go, oh, wait, Drake can actually rap. Like, okay. I mean, yes, he does have ghostwriters. I do not believe Drake is writing anything himself, but he can read what his ghostwriters give him very well.
The Serena we were talking about earlier was Serena Williams, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'd never heard that.
So,
did he make a play for her and she said no?
Basically, like they had kind of been seen together, probably like Rihanna, an off again dating situation. You know, they're both hot celebrities. And he like did the same with Rihanna, where he like went all out and like tried to be like, oh, you know, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And she just kind of moved on and dissed him. And in response, like when she was in Beyonce's music video for Lemonade, that was kind of supposed to be like her dig at Drake, where she was like, boy, bye. Like, I'm not even into you. And then, of course, she married someone, had kids, and is like happily married. And then Drake still like will talk shit about her husband and her, and is like, which
is like so rude. Like it's like, and he's taking shots
forever.
But he's taking shots at like people that we hold as like these holier than thou human beings. Do you know what I'm saying? He is like taking shots at Rihanna, who everyone loves. Like there's very few people that I interact with ever that is like that are like Rihanna's terrible.
Yeah.
Like everyone loves her. And then to be like Serena Williams, the most decorated athlete in the world, right? Like the most correct, like someone who like we have put on a pedestal forever and she will always be there forever. If she murdered someone, we wouldn't be upset.
We wouldn't
Serena
be that
Williams
upset. It would be like, well, what did they do to Serena?
Yeah.
And
so he is taking shots at like these people.
Are you proposing that she's an Invincible?
She's an Invincible.
She should be in our next Invincibles episode.
Serena Williams is an Invincible.
I can't think of like anything Serena Williams could do that would make me be like, oh no, like
correct.
I mean, I'm not like about to go out and buy like her makeup brand or anything, but like I just like her.
I mean, no, but Ashley, who amongst? I mean, what are we? Yeah. Like what are we? But I want to say that like he's taking shots at these people that we put up on a pedestal, and like no one is being like Drake is a piece of shit. Like fuck him. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, Drake did that. Like do you know? Like he doesn't even get blowback from what we would think would be like a career-ending move for anyone else.
And like everything with Rihanna is so embarrassing. There actually recently was like a Twitter thread documenting the history of him and Rihanna. When she won her Lifetime Achievement Award, he begged to give the speech being like, oh, she's amazing. That's when he declared his love for her and was like, I love you. Rihanna's response was to dab. She literally smiled and went, not even, I love you. And it became a classic. And then the biggest Drake meme is like him at a basketball game looking at his phone like he has just seen the most shocking, upsetting information. It is the day Rihanna announced her pregnancy, and it is his reaction to seeing that on his phone. And you just see that he is so angry. And then his next like 2 projects all had disses about A$AP Rocky. Like he won't stop talking about Serena. And finally, it's not until Kendrick is like, yo, you are weird, that finally someone calls him out on it.
Ashley, you're bringing me over to his side a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like,
wow.
Like, I kind of get it now because it's like he's getting destroyed by these women, like destroyed by them. Think of like the meme that like the biggest meme, bigger than the Hotline Bling meme.
Bigger than Hotline Bling. It is like, you the moment you found out Rihanna was pregnant.
Not with your child.
And also when you said you love her and she dabbed. Those are your biggest moments.
Those are slams heard around the world.
And it's like he's such a desperate lover boy, like before kind of all this drama.
That's part of it for me. And it always has been. That's why I can't take him seriously as a rapper or a lover or barely even a celebrity, because there's something dripping from him that he just wants it so desperate. Bad.
Do you remember when he did an interview that was like, I have an entire walk-in closet filled with Chanel bags for my future wife?
No.
Like, yeah.
But he doesn't really have that.
He does. That's not real. He showed video of it. He literally was like, this is my purse closet for my future wife. And it's like, you got a girl pregnant? And you were like, not purse material, but you can have my baby. And it's just so desperate and sad.
That's
he like
really
dreamt
rough.
of like, and the day that Rihanna says yes to me, I'm giving her this purse closet. And every woman he's into is like, yeah, no, I'm good, actually.
But Ashley, here's the problem. They don't need his purse closet because they're billionaires. Like Rihanna's a billionaire, like, right? Like she's a billionaire. No? Yes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like with
100% now. Yeah.
She's a billionaire.
And then like by marriage, Serena Williams is also a billionaire. So it's like they can buy your purse closet 10 times over.
Yeah.
And I think the talent of those two people is also unquestioned.
Yes.
I believe that Drake's talent is questionable.
Well, here's what I'll say though. Drake ushered in my opinion, like a not genre, but like an era of like sad boy rappers. Like before it was like, when you think back, it was like, think back to like when I was a kid, it was like Nelly, and like we had our 90s, early 2000s, like we had our Nellies, we had our like, Tipsy, and we had our Chameleonaires and I'm trying to think of all the other like Petey Pablo, and we had like I had all these like, oh, I'm representing my city and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and like, oh, we're partying and we're doing this. And Drake was always like, I'm like really sad because someone doesn't like me, and like his rap was all about like being upset.
And like he did songs with like Alicia Keys singing and being like, oh, fireworks, oh, I love you, and it just was always really corny. And then all of a sudden he was like, I'm going to do this tough guy thing.
Corny.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, I'm tough. I'm from the 6. I'm the toughest guy from Toronto. And it's like, oh.
How dare.
I'm trying to think of like, because one of the first songs I remember of his was that one. That was that song he sings in it, and he's like, "You better find your lover" or something like that. What is the name of that? What's that song?
Oh.
Find Your Love, right?
Yeah.
Drake? Is that the name of the song? Yeah, this is it. This is like old. He's like a kid.
Oh yeah. Like his first mixtape. I mean, that was again like right when he was fresh off Degrassi, and I was like, I guess I'll check this out because I like Degrassi, but
the YouTube video of this, like the YouTube like thumbnail thing of this song isn't even in widescreen. That's how long ago it was.
How far back does his liaising with Rihanna go? It
14
doesn't go
years.
back to Degrassi.
No, not
right?
to Degrassi. It goes back like 14-ish years to when they did a song together. Oh, I can't believe I cannot remember that song.
I think it was Islands in the Stream is what you were thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm joking. That's every young person in this chat just was rendered silent while I got my.
We were like, yeah,
out.
it is. No, because her first album was called like Planet in the Sun or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like Island in the Sun. Yeah.
That is what we are. And that was Cher.
Oh my God. Wait, Dominic, you know what we did not do was guess Drake's
I got it
middle name.
up.
But I think that I know what it is already. So I think
and that's fine. We can also do other questions. Ashley, we usually do this at the very top of the fix, but we ask the listeners, our guest, and Christopher to guess the middle name of the person that we are trying to fix. It's a little challenging this week because I think you guys both know that this is it's like a trick question because Drake is Drake's
is his middle name. Aubrey Drake Graham, please.
Yeah, and we know his first name is Aubrey. We know that.
Yeah, so I personally like to call him Aubrey because he doesn't fool me. And like he has some line in one of his songs where he's like, "Yo, I'll buy you and your girls' purses, take you out." And I was like, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, Aubrey, chill out. Like, you're not a big deal because you bought me a purse, Aubrey. Like, I want to be a friend of a girl Drake is dating so I can just constantly be putting him in his
Aubrey. Yeah, Aubrey.
Like,
stop.
Please, Aubrey, calm down. You're not a big deal.
Now, if Drake had a second middle name, what would that be? And I'll just decide who's the winner. My vote now is obviously for Cake.
No,
Aubrey Drake Cake Graham.
We should guess Kendrick Lamar's middle name.
Ooh, I like that. I like that because I feel like Kendrick's middle.
It's also Cake.
I want to say it's Lamont. I just feel like his middle name would be like Kendrick Lamont.
Okay, Ashley's guessing Lamont.
They're the same. They're the same age too. That's fun.
Oh, really?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're both 37 years of age. Kendrick is a few months older. What is Kendrick Lamar's middle name?
Okay, Kendrick is like a very unique name. So
Kendrick. Wait, his real last name is Duckworth, right?
That is correct.
So is Lamar his middle name?
It is. What a bust the middle name game is this week. Should we pull up a third person?
Actually, this is usually
Will
like
Smith's
the
middle
most
name
fun part where we're like,
oh wow, okay.
We're like, oh yeah. Meanwhile, it's like,
those are both kind of boring. I feel like Lamont was creative, close, but okay.
Yeah, you did great. And I didn't even really guess it because it's like too easy. You know what I mean? Like usually like someone guesses it and it's like gangbusters in here.
Because I think because one of the Drake disses is like he's dissing him for the last name Duckworth, and it's like. Okay, dude, he's calling you a pedophile. You gotta come back with something.
Aubrey.
Yeah, like,
don't talk about names.
Aubrey.
Yeah, I feel bad that the middle name game wasn't.
It's okay. I mean, we can't win them all, Dominic.
Yeah.
Why don't we just put in a sub this week? Do you guys want to guess Charo's middle name?
What is Charo's middle name? Charo? What is
Charo's
last name?
Charo's real name? Like,
is it Charo?
Is it Charo?
Charo's, it is not. Charo's real full name is Maria Rosario Pilar Martinez Molina Baeza.
Okay, I was not.
Wow.
I wasn't going to get that.
Wasn't going to guess any of those. I know that much.
Wasn't going to.
Did you like my accent?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
The R's
I've
rolled,
recently had practice. Let's move on.
Goodbye, Dominic. Goodbye. Okay, let's go back we will be crucified if we don't talk about Degrassi for like 2 more minutes.
Honestly.
Like we have to at least because not for nothing, the world like met this child when he was Jimmy on Degrassi, who was shot, right?
Oh, I can tell you this whole history here.
Okay, thank you. Please.
I mean, so originally Jimmy was the basketball bad boy who dated Ashley, who was kind of the like she was very like wanting to start her own band, very like goth girly. They're together, a lot of off on between them. Finally, Jimmy's character decides like, I don't want to be the bad boy of basketball anymore at Degrassi. I want to like help the nerds and be like a nice guy. But this is a little too late because he was already friends with Spinner, who was like the bully guy. Spinner's like, the one who's pranking everyone, maybe being the big bully. They bully a kid named, is it Ricky? Rich?
Sure.
I think Rick or Richie anyway. But they like bully him. And he snaps. And this is like Jimmy tries to be like, I'm sorry, man. I wish it never gone down like that. Too late. He brings a gun to school, shoots it up. He shoots Jimmy, and Jimmy is in a wheelchair for the rest of his time on Degrassi. And then after that, he like is still dating Ashley, but most of his plot lines are like him being like, I can't get an erection because I'm in a wheelchair now. This sucks.
Oh, brother. Oh, no.
Yeah. It's a lot of him being like, but how can I truly love Ashley? I'm in a wheelchair now. And then slowly, like, I don't even think they killed him off the show. I think he was just one of the ones they're like, Jimmy went to college and he never came back.
Yeah, sure. He graduated. Yeah. Yeah, and that was always something that people were like, okay, Jimmy, or like much like Aubrey, like people were always like, remember when you were in a wheelchair?
Jimmy, like wheelchair Jimmy putting out a mixtape.
And I remember him being like, posting on Instagram, like them checks still clearing, and it was like a residual check from like Degrassi, and he got like $2.
Yeah, it's like,
which is funny.
That's funny.
Fun.
And when he was on Degrassi, he was making music that like Degrassi fans would share on LiveJournal and stuff. So when it like was he's gonna try to do this full time, I think a lot of Degrassi fans were just like, oh, he's like going by Drake now and trying to like change his image. And it was like, well, he has been making music, but like, why is he trying to act like he's from the Toronto inner city? Like, he has been rich since he was 11 years old and was on Degrassi.
Correct. Right.
Well, and that I think is like the big point between like him and Kendrick, is that Kendrick's like, you're like a rich little bitch, and I'm like from the streets. Like, I'm like the voice of my generation through rap.
Yeah.
Like, if we have to get into we can go there now if we're ready or not, but like, Kendrick Lamar is like, has a Pulitzer Prize for like lyrics.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you're like the voice of like his song was like attributed as like the most influential and important song of the 2010s.
Yeah.
Because it became like the anthem of like the BLM movement.
Yeah.
Like
and
he
Drake
like holds these records that like Drake will never touch.
Drake will never touch that. And that is what really upsets him, I think, is that Kendrick has everything that he ever wanted. Kendrick has the career he wants. He has the reputation he wants. He even has like the wife that Drake wants, which is just frankly a hot black woman. And Drake is never getting any of those things. Like,
does he have a walk-in closet full of Chanel bags for this woman, though, is the
good question. Probably not.
Perhaps Drake has a leg up in that department.
That is where Drake has a leg up. It's just that any woman who would marry Drake is not interested in. It's just like, he clearly attracts the like Instagram model, Insta-ho, like hot stripper girl, but he truly thinks he's worthy of like a Beyonce, Rihanna. And it's like, you are not Drake. You are not Aubrey. Like, please be real.
Yeah. Oh my God, Aubrey. His government. You using his government is the best shit ever. I like didn't even think to do that. That's so funny.
I'll only call him Aubrey for the rest of this podcast and also my life.
Wow. Okay.
May I read you this line from Rolling Stone?
Yes.
Having the hottest song of the summer being a diss about you, one where you get called a pedophile and colonizer over a DJ Mustard beat, is a hard position to come back from, even for Drake, who has proven throughout his career that he is a different kind of superstar. This last part I take issue with more range and resilience than most. Easy does it, Rolling Stone, with that after that last comma. I don't know about more range and resilience.
No, but I will say, like, I feel that he's very pop. Like, he's like a pop rapper.
Yeah.
Like, he is.
Mostly
he is. Versus like a Kendrick Lamar. You're not hearing like Kendrick Lamar on the radio.
Yeah.
Whereas like...
No. And that was kind of Kendrick's point, where he was like, yo, you are good at your pop rap thing. Just keep people dancing and waving their hands. Stop trying to have a message. And I don't need to come for
Drake
you.
was in like a Sprite commercial.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Drake was Drake from State Farm, which PS, but like to go towards his like humongous fame, like, when he was Drake from State Farm, that was a Super Bowl commercial, and we all loved it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like a huge deal. Like,
he
is super famous.
He's so good when he just leans into the pop culture, mainstream, corny dude. Like, but when he tries to be like, oh no, I'm friends with Future. This is for the dogs. I'm a dog. It's like, no, you're not, Aubrey. You're the dude with a walk-in closet full of purses, hoping that the girl who likes you back. And that's all you kind of are.
He's Canadian Will Smith.
Yeah.
That's it. Like as you're even
Dominick.
talking about him.
Well, I mean, even like Will Smith at least dated people his age. It's like when it got into the him, and I will say, like when people were calling him out for texting Millie Bobby Brown, I was a little like, I can understand where he's like, you're a child actor. I was a child actor. You know, you're trying to make that transition to having a career as an adult. And like, if he had just acknowledged it that way, I think people would have been like, oh, okay. But it was the fact that he just kept being like, I don't want to talk about it. And she was like, he's my bestie. We talk all the time. That's where it was like. Yeah.
But again, because he doesn't want anyone to know that they like talk on the phone and he like cries to her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or it's like, oh yeah, I remember when being a child star was so hard. Let me tell you about it. And it's like, and then she's like, it's okay, Drake.
Hey,
do you know what I mean?
Like that is like when people were talking about him with these younger women, I was like, this is like one of those situations where it's a rich old guy who is crying in these girls' laps, hoping it makes him feel important. And then he realizes like, oh, these girls don't care about him and they're going to move on with their very successful lives.
And how about Millie Bobby Brown not being interested in Drake and instead being so uninterested in him that she decided marrying a Bon Jovi would be a higher step on the ladder than an Aubrey?
Yeah. I mean,
slammity slam. No matter where he tries to put it, they say no.
They say no. He was like, I would rather marry Bon Jovi's son, which I watched that John Bon Jovi documentary that came out, and he seems nice enough. Sure.
He does.
Sure.
You know, but it's just like,
he's like every guy from New Jersey.
Yeah. And
basically,
like, just anything is better than Drake.
Basically.
Yeah, sure. Drake is like sad boy and like whatever, he's pop and cringy, but like he has record breaking, like he has the numbers and the stats. He does have the numbers and the stats to break be in the top 3. Like he's there, regardless of what we think. Yeah.
And I don't deny that, by the way. I don't deny his actual fame. It's just inexplicable to me. And I don't.
Like, he's outsold the Beatles, and he got a tattoo of Abbey Road with him in front of the Beatles crossing Abbey Road.
No.
It is his corniest. God. That's how corny he is. He has an Abbey Road tattoo with him in front of the Beatles. It's so stupid. Like, come on.
Oh, God.
You see how much you have to fix now. I just want you to have a full picture of how wrong
it's way worse than I thought. Thank God I didn't know this about him, because I'm losing sleep over this tonight, by the way. Like, for real. Yeah. Like, not even a joke.
And he's like, I've outsold Elvis. I've outsold the Beatles. And it's like, okay, sure.
Like, sure. No, like, yeah. Like, okay. So then Kendrick Lamar's like, no, it's just me. Like, I'm in a league all of my own, which, like, true. Then they just start going.
Yeah, then it just starts,
and it's like
from there
every day. And this is a thing that has only happened in the last like couple years, is that it's like we can now, because of mainly TikTok, track every movement of everything. Like when like Biggie and Tupac were like going to like having gang wars with each other, like we weren't following it this closely. Like everything that these people do is like reported on every single day was a new song by one of them. And then like hours later there was like a rebuttal track drop. Like it was happening in real time, like every day.
And Kendrick's producer is like, Kendrick didn't even write it down. He just went into the studio full of hate, and like 30 minutes later was like, I have a response. And I kind of believe it. J. Cole also did try to respond. He like put out one little verse, and then the next day he had a live show where he went, I just want to say sorry to Kendrick. Never mind. I don't want no beef. Like J. Cole smart enough so quickly. He was like, no, never mind. Actually, never mind. I take it all back. I'm so sorry. I had no peace. Peace with me, please. Nobody.
Like I want peace.
And then it was just Drake by himself trying to come at Kendrick with things that just like were sad. Like all of his disses were sad. He had one where he tried to, called Heartbeat, where he tried to claim that like someone else fathered Kendrick's children, that Kendrick beats his wife, that like Kendrick cheated on her all the time. And it just, none of it really was.
Is any of that true, by the way? Is there any corroboration?
Kendrick himself has rapped about how he used to cheat on his wife a lot. That was like one of the biggest plots or stories of one of his early albums, is like him, redeeming himself and realizing like, oh, I need to stop cheating on my wife. As far as the beating thing, well, there's no evidence of that, but in response, that's why she's in Kendrick's Not Like Us video, where they're dancing together with the kids. And he also accused David Free, who is Kendrick's producer, of being the actual father of Kendrick's children. And then Kendrick had David Free direct and produce that music video as a way to be like, no, none of this is true, dude. Like, my family's right here dancing with me. We all love each other. And this guy you say fathered my kids is producing my video, and no, he did not father them. Yeah. So it just seemed like.
And who do you have? A closet full of purses. That's what you have in your music video. It's so clear
that Drake is not like looped into the hip hop scene, and so he just was finding stuff on Twitter and rapping about it, which is kind of like what Nicki Minaj did with Megan when they had their disses. Like, she literally just was like finding tweets of like random things people were saying and was like, "This is true. Put it on a beat." And then Drake was like, okay, so I have people in your crew and I have gone through your trash. I have your Ozempic prescription. I have like
Slam.
That's the cover of the Not Like Us album. It has all of this stuff from Drake's trash at a hotel. And the guy who worked at the hotel who stole the trash is like, oh yeah, that was all legit. Drake stayed here. I ain't like him, so I sold it to Kendrick's camp. And so,
dear God, that's fucking great. And then I forgot about the Ozempic. It's like, you're on Ozempic. That's brutal.
Everyone thinks everyone in hip hop is gay because of this behavior. This is all incredibly petty gay behavior on all of them, really. I mean,
and then Kendrick put out Meet the Grams, which was just devastating. It is Kendrick rapping directly to Drake's family, to his son being like, I'm sorry your dad hid you. He's not a real man. To his mom being like, you raised a little bitch. To his dad being like, did you abandon Drake because he sucks? Like, just...
I know, which is like, that's like crossing. In my
that
opinion,
was the one for me that I was
absolutely crossing the line.
Okay, calm down. And like, that's when I was like...
I'm saying it right here on this broadcast that diss tracks are such gay behavior. We, in this house, are renaming them cis tracks.
I like that.
And that's just the end of it. That's how gay they are.
I mean, I love Not Like Us, and I am clearly Team Kendrick here. But like, when it gets to the part... And I think it's Euphoria, where Drake is just like, I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you dress. I hate the way you walk. I hate the way you dance. It's like, okay, do you have a crush on him? Do you like it?
Yeah. Like, I love you. I'm in love with you.
Down. Yeah. Like, this is me talking about my middle school crush I didn't want to like admit I liked. And I'm like, oh my God, no, he's so stupid. Aubrey's ugly. And I hate the way he dresses. And isn't it so stupid how he dresses? It's so stupid. And it's like, maybe you two just need to say sorry and just work it out on the remix. Just work it on the remix, like Charlie and Lord. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah. But even like Hotline Bling was like fun. Yeah. And there was a part where like I almost, and not to, you're going to both scream, but not to liken him to Fergie, but almost like,
I quit.
Almost like, think of the song like Fergalicious. Like, that song is so stupid and yet an absolute banger that I know every word to.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? It like means nothing, but there's something about like playing with the genre that like is so fun that I feel like Hotline Bling was also kind of like that. Like, it's in a weird way. I don't know.
Drake was like, for the women and for the girls. And then all of a sudden he started hanging out with Future and being like, oh, this is for the dogs. Like, oh, like, girls suck, and that's when it just kind of was like, so you're just gonna spend all your albums like complaining about like Rihanna and Serena Williams now.
And that's the thing that's so funny, is like, I feel like every girl was like in love with Drake at the beginning, because they were like, oh, he like has feelings. Like,
Marvin's Room.
He's not talking about like shoot.
Used to make me cry.
He wears sweaters.
Yeah.
Like, I used to sit listening to Marvin's Room like, oh my God, Drake, just call your dad. Like, it'll be okay.
I forgot about Marvin's Room was really for real. Like, it was like sad. Like, it was like he was like talking about like being upset and like, and every girl was like throwing their
and like
panties
not nice for what? All of that. It was like he had built so much goodwill.
Marvin.
And then working with Beyonce, and then to just see him slowly dismantle it because like losing Rihanna truly made him lose his mind, I believe. Like, I think that was the big thing. Like, the moment Rihanna dabbed at him, it was over for his sanity. Like that. And on a public stage, I just think that's when it was like, he was broken.
Yeah, that's rough.
Those are the streets he's actually from. That's when he got hard.
Yes.
Was when Rihanna finally
The
got
streets
rid of
of what, the Grammy Awards?
He was run
Yeah,
over on
Rihanna
Rihanna
Boulevard,
Boulevard,
just-
baby. That's the street he's from.
The Dolby.
Fenty
What is it?
Fairway, bitch.
Where do they have the Oscars?
the
Dolby, the
Chinese
Theater.
Yes.
so stupid.
Those are the streets.
The Dolby Cinema of Sunset or whatever it is. So stupid.
So I'm seeing a couple of things online just today. Actually, there are rumors that he is planning some sort of either response or some sort of end of summer comeback, because he is definitely furious that this Kendrick song has been circling at the top of the charts.
It's gonna win a Grammy.
Summer.
I am fully certain it will win. The like R&B rap single is a banger. Like, even there was a video of a non-verbal child who is 6 years old, never spoke in his life, and the thing that got him to talk was going, and it's probably A minor. It's like,
No. Ashley, don't say this to us.
Kendrick is inspiring people literally who've never spoken to be like, I
No,
have
like,
to speak.
That's what Jesus did. I'm sorry to bring it to religion, but that's what Jesus did.
Like,
That's what
how do you try to come back? What do you even
No,
say?
you can't.
He tried to like do some funny like Instagram things, but Kendrick even called him out for that. He was like, "What, you gonna make some little joke and meme on Instagram because that's what you always do?" And that's exactly what he did. So it's like,
well, okay, a few things that we have to hit before we go any further is that one, after the I forgot about they dug through your trash and they found your Ozempic. That's a slam. That's like, in my opinion, that's game over. He should just leave and never
pretend you don't exist.
But also, then doesn't Drake put out some rumors that somehow Drake claims that he then puts blind items out there Drake, that he has another kid Drake's and blah 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 and this and that. And then when
that
Kendrick,
was like me playing chess, not checkers. You don't even understand.
Yeah.
I don't actually have another kid.
Oh, you fell for
my Ozempic prescription in the trash. That was fake. I paid a guy to make it. No, you didn't, Drake. No, you didn't. And he's like, God. He told him to make up that he has another daughter. Well, then people started digging in and found the other daughter's Instagram where she literally has pictures with J. Cole. And she's like, "Thanks, Dad, for introducing me to J. Cole." After the song came out, the profile disappears, comes back. Every mention of Dad is gone from that Instagram account.
No.
Everyone is so sure, this is Drake's daughter. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we obviously, the entire reason of me wanting to talk about Drake, some DJ/radio person puts out a long song called BBL Drizzy.
Yeah.
Making fun of the fact that allegedly Drake had a BBL.
And
do you think he really did?
I mean, he clearly had liposuction. He clearly did the fake ab etching. He had a nose job. He has a jaw chin implant. That is not the Jimmy's face that I know from Degrassi, okay? And he was not, it's not like he came of age. He was 19 when Degrassi ended, okay? He had his adult nose, and that's a different nose. And they've talked about him having a nose job, a BBL Drizzy. I mean,
and for people who don't watch Drag Race, a BBL is a Brazilian butt lift.
Yes.
Thank you.
But then there's a song that's literally BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy, and it's just so. And then that was people spammed his everything, his internet persona, but just BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy, BBL, which I don't know. I let me not tip my hat, but he could reharness BBL Drizzy for good. He could bring it, you know what I mean? Because to me, BBL Drizzy is so funny. Even if
it's funny enough where that is premium meme material where Drake excels. If he really embraced the joke of it, I think he could start to turn things around. It's just then, instead of him just letting it go at the BBL Drizzy thing, he kept taking shots until Kendrick had to call him a pedophile. And then it's okay, well, that fun and game's over, man. This, we were talking about BBLs and now you are bringing up actual crimes.
And didn't then because of all this, weren't people showing up at Drake's house and stuff? It did start to get out
that, some guy who is a Pizzagate QAnon person was I bet he's trafficking kids. I'm going to go up to Drake's house and I'm going to find him. And I think shot one of Drake's security guards. Obviously Drake was fine because he's in the middle of this compound where he's safe. But it was okay, people stop being so crazy. Leave the guy alone. like, come on, that's not necessary. But it's also like people take what Kendrick said seriously, and they're like, if he's doing stuff to minors, let's go get him. And it's yeah. And I mean, also, Drake, stop showing your house on the internet. I know you wanted to show off your purse closet, but he's showing off every single part of his house. Like, that's why one of the covers of the diss tracks is like his house with like the full layout. Because it's like, why have you shown us your house so many times?
And that is a part of it.
Yeah,
his purses. He walks around the house holding them just in his elbow,
like a Birkin. Like he just like has a little Birkin. Click, 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 clack, click, clack.
And he's just like, is any woman watching? You can have all of this. And every woman's like, no, thank you. I'm good.
Right.
He also has had this thing where he desperately is trying to like cling to his Black heritage, to cling to my dad's from Mississippi. And then he had the whitest looking child in the world. And I think he was like, I have to hide this.
And name the child Adonis.
That kid has blue eyes and the blondest blonde hair. The kid speaks French. And it's like,
oh God, the kid's gay. How gay is this story going to get? The story of Aubrey. The story of Aubrey Graham.
Dominick.
P.S. I don't know why you're referring to this child's mother as a stripper, because Wikipedia describes her as French painter and former model.
Apologies.
Sophie Brousseau.
She was a former Instagram model to the celebrities.
Who was paid by having dollar bills put in her butt on stage. Does not a stripper make.
True.
I want to see what Sophie Brousseau looks like, actually. The woman that...
I mean, she's pretty.
Yeah. Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
she's
I'm
pretty.
into it.
It's like, I get it. But Drake, just own it, Drake. But he's like, no, I wanted my Serena Williams. I wanted my Black queen so that I could be like, see, look how in touch with the culture I am.
But that's also like for star power. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, again, that's for like, I'm with Rihanna, not because like Robin Fenty and I are in love. Yeah, it's like, because like I am with Rihanna.
And like, he came so close, I feel like, with Nicki to locking that down. And then she like,
you like to flirt with danger, don't you?
I feel like it was so close.
Really
and then
do.
Even Nicki Minaj though was like, you're kind of a loser. I would rather go date Meek Mills. And that's who she ditched him for. And then they had back and forth and like they had diss tracks to each other over Nicki.
But this is what it is. And this is what's sad is that he's like, yeah, I'm like this hard G. Like I'm like this, blah, blah. And then they get into like his bedroom and he's like, hey.
Can you peg me?
And then he's like, what's up? Like, he's like, do you want me? Ashley!
Drake wants to be pegged. I'm sorry. I can look at that man.
100%.
Aubrey Graham likes to be pegged. Okay, I will put that in a British newspaper, and I'm not getting sued for libel over it. That's how much I believe it.
With a Chanel purse on each elbow, dangling from each elbow, and his knee pits. 4 Chanel purses.
His knee pits.
While he's getting pegged. And let's not forget, in the game of pegging, there's a pegger and a peggy. So Aubrey's a peggy.
Okay, all pegging aside, but you know he's like...
Well, there goes my fix. I was thinking he should become a professional pegger.
An Olympic pegger.
Yes.
My God. But all jokes aside, it's like he's probably like, what's up? Do you want like this purse? And they're like, ooh, no, you fucking...
Yeah, they're like, ew. Like, I thought you were like a man. And no, I'd rather go date Meek Mills or like,
and they're like, pick me up. And he's like, I can't. Like, all these muscles are fake.
Like my muscles are fake. They're all just implants. My nose isn't even my nose. Which fine.
Yeah, whatever. But like, P.S.
That I'm jealous of.
We barely talked about. He then was just like, had a video of his dick where he was like on his private jet, laying in the bed in his private jet, waving his dick around to be like, look, I like unpack it.
Which
like,
is so not a macho move. That is not the move of a guy who like isn't desperate for female attention. Like, come on.
Right.
No, correct.
Because someone would have locked him down already if he was that
like tearing it up. Yeah.
Good at it.
Yeah.
You know?
And what we've heard, like there have been a lot of like Instagram models and stuff who have come forward being like, you know, Drake isn't that great in bed. Like, oh, he just like cries. He like wants to be pegged. That has come up. There have been people who have said that and are like, yeah, I slept with Drake and like
he wants to be pegged.
He wanted me to eat his ass. That is like the big thing. Is like some girl was like, Drake wanted me to just eat his ass and blah blah blah. She did eventually get sued, so she was probably lying, but.
Yeah,
but
allegedly. Yes, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, she said this, not us.
Who are we to judge?
But I am just like, that's just what he needs to like lean into. But like, dude, stop trying to just act like you're gonna marry somebody like Beyonce. You're not. That's not your thing.
Oh, brother.
Oh, wow. I think we're here. We have to enter the arena. It's that time. It's time for the fixes. I am completely conflicted. Although knowing that Drake cries rather than comes is a thing that I'm trying to incorporate into.
Yeah, you're like, how can I make this a thing? Yeah. Aubrey, Drake, Graham. You want to liken yourself to Kendrick Lamar when in reality, and this is not a slam, even though it will sound like it, you are more like Miley Cyrus, child star, gone sexy, become an A-list celebrity, period. And how you're going to emulate Miley, because that is your way out of this. It is not to continue to have rap beefs with people because everyone knows that you're on Ozempic. And so now that's over for you. I'm sorry to say. You are going to get a recurring role.
Oh, Jesus.
On a TV show.
Not Abbott
Whether
Elementary.
that be an not Abbott Elementary. God,
nothing with children.
There's something about it where it's like a This Is Us slam. Something where it's like a This Is Us kind of a show where everyone's enthralled by it, but yet it's on ABC. Do you know what I'm saying? Like something where it's like every person that has cable is like jizzing over, where he's the dad. Or I was going to say an Apple TV Plus show where he's like a B character that like steals the show in every scene. And we just get music's behind us for like 2 years. Like he's just like, you know what? I'm going back to my roots, which isn't a lie. No one can diss him about that. Because the most street cred he's ever had is getting shot as
Jimmy.
Jimmy, like period. Like he's like gang. You know what I mean? Like he's like, so he's going to be an actor. He's going to be in a show that gets nominated for a bunch of Emmys. And then after like 2 or 3 seasons on that show where like my dad now knows who he is. And is like, you know what I'm saying? Like my dad's like, Drake, like who the fuck is that? Whereas like if he was on like some random show that was on CBS or ABC or Apple TV Plus, like people's parents would be like, oh yeah, him.
My mom loves
in a recurring
Elsbeth.
Oh, but if he's on Elizabeth, he's going to be like, he'll be like the killer in one episode and then go to jail. And then it needs to be like turning over a new leaf where it's like blowing us away. Although I love Elsbeth.
Ooh, or like Only Murders in the Building. I feel like that's a little...
I'm a good wife truther. So just FYI. I don't know what the truth of it is, but I'm a good wife truther. So is it Only Murders in the Building? Something like that where he's like the guest star. That one, they've had too many. I mean, they had Meryl. So it's like, it needs to be that, but something else. And then after like 2 or 3 years of like running the circuit and like maybe almost getting nominated for an Emmy, but not like being on a show that's a huge hit, he out of nowhere drops Back to Marvin's Room.
Oh my God.
And it's like him being sad about getting destroyed by Kendrick Lamar. And the only way for him to like redeem all of this is by him like admitting that it hurt him and going back to his power, which is emotions. And then that is like climbing the charts. Kendrick who at that point. And that is my pitch.
Wow. What I think is that Drake and Kendrick should do a regional summer stock tour of On Golden Pond where the couple is gay now.
Don't you dare. Ashley, this is Dominick's pitch for every single person.
As soon as Tyra and Naomi are done with the lesbian version, they'll hand it off to Kendrick and Drake.
On Golden Pond and The Odd Couple that could just run on Broadway forever, and Dominick would have like a revolving door of celebrities to go. I really think
they could do a good The Odd Couple, though.
It would be hilarious. That is not my actual pitch. My actual pitch, and I think Chris's pitch is going to win this week. I don't think mine's better, but the only thing I kept thinking the entire time was of Drake hosting a late night version of what Kelly Clarkson's daytime show has become.
Wow.
She has a performance space there. he could answer in real time all the shit that's sort of said about him, like give him a different sort of microphone. It also combines all of the skills that he does with B- success to me. Acting, comedy. I've seen him on SNL, and I will say that he was good on SNL. I'm not a Degrassi fan, but I don't know.
He
well
took
enough
some acting classes. He did some improv classes. He's sharp enough.
So why not? I don't know. And I'm surprised I didn't suggest something similar when and if we fixed Will Smith, because that's sort of the same. I, for some reason, do not take Drake seriously as a musician. I know statistically I am supposed to. I know I'm shoveling shit against the tide of factual information about him being an actual superstar. But I don't know why I don't. I just don't know why. I've never considered him. If he was on a list of the top 20 rappers of all time, I would gasp. Like an actual serious list. I would gasp.
Wow.
So my pitch is basically, if Drake's power is in his being real and his sadness and all that stuff, give us to him in that way. Give Drake to us the way that we have Kelly Clarkson. And that's my pitch.
Dominic, that's pretty fucking good.
You can even call it the Drake Show and just put it on at 12:30.
The Drake Show. That is good. I do think both of your pitches are missing he needs to date an adult woman. He needs to be seen with an adult woman.
Really?
He needs...
I don't want that for that woman, is what I
but
actually
what if the woman
I don't want that for
Nicki
her.
Minaj?
Okay.
She deserves it. She deserves it. And for her, going from a pedophile who was in jail to Drake, kind of a step up. He's just a pedophile who never served time. So that is,
true.
kind of a step up for her, step up for him. I feel like then it's like, oh, he's dating someone his age, also a musician. That's going to give him credence there.
Yeah. And she's a great rapper. But she is the same where she is like, I'm also the greatest. And everyone's like, you're not. Like, and she was for a decade.
Absolutely respect
she ran the whole gamut
she had
for
an
a decade.
Entire era. But now things have moved on, and I feel like her and Drake getting back together, it would hit the nostalgia. It would
How about on the Drake Show, he is actually dating his band leader. The band leader is a woman, so it's a little Sonny and Cher. It doesn't have to be Nicki Minaj. And also the band, wait, I'm trying to make sure my pitch wins now, because now I'm really in the arena. The band, their band shell, their background is a purse closet. And the woman that he's dating is conducting the band in the purse closet. Well, that
could be like where he goes to do like an intimate interview. Yeah, the intimate interview.
That's right.
Now we're in the purse closet.
The very end.
Yeah.
The Springer's corner at the end of it. That'll be where he gives his daily affirmations.
Well, Ashley, there are times when the guest has come on with a pitch and they've blown us away. Sadly, I think, and we have to decide that you blow us away so much that you win. We take it away from you and then give you the prize. You know what I'm saying? Sadly, because you brought her up earlier, you didn't blow me away with it. I knew it was coming. And so
that's okay.
But I'm not going to lie. If you would have really sprung it on me, I would have been like, you win. I would have given it to you. I'm not because there is something where they're they're the two outcasts.
They're
like Bonnie and Clyde.
And if they came back together and she did a track that's I hate my ex-husband. And he's like, I'm sorry for everything I did. I was just so hurt because I was looking for a real woman and now I finally got one. It would just be exactly what people need. To forgive both of them. If they cross their streams,
another, you know what I mean? And it would
big
it would
issue
be
with Drake now is that there's basically the rumor that for any young female rapper, he will not help put them on unless they sleep with him. So that's why Megan and Drake have beef, is because Megan wouldn't sleep with him. And then Sexy Red very much was yes, I will fuck you, Drake. And then he did Rich Baby Daddy with her. And so I think just him growing up, being in a real relationship.
That's also disgusting. Yeah, that's bad. If that's real, that's like Harvey Weinstein.
And that's why
you know what I mean?
That's why I'm a little hesitant on him dating his band leader. I'm sorry, Twitter's not having that. You can't date someone in your employ.
I don't want that for that woman.
What if the band leader was Helen Mirren? What if it was someone who was very much an adult? Very,
Okay,
very
if Drake
adult.
gets Helen
Judi
Mirren to be
Dench.
the band lead on his late night talk show, okay.
What about Charo? We've already brought her up. Maybe that was the reason the Lord put
I could
her in my
totally
mouth.
see him being into Charo, honestly.
Dear God in heaven. Okay, Ashley, this is where you make it.
If you can remember what these pitches
I
are, you
mean,
must now decide between one
I
of them.
have to give it to Chris for Back to Marvin's Room because, that is just a winning answer.
It's catchy.
No, and I forgot about Marvin's Room, and I forgot that like every white girl alive was like, I will marry Drake. Like he had like every white girl my age in the palm of his hand for like
because
6
of
years.
Marvin's Room.
Like,
and if he brought that back and the like iconic artwork of the album, like with the side of his face and stuff, if he did that, like truly people would be like, oh, he's
all be
he's getting
freaking
back
out.
to his emotions and the root, and like he just genuinely apologizes to Serena and Rihanna. Like that's what it would take. I think even if he did that, even Beyonce might be like, you can produce a song for me.
She's like, you're fine. Like you can like sing on. Yeah, you can like do a background.
I
vocal
think
for one
that
thing.
would be enough.
I done it again. And wait, P.S. We did not bring up. Didn't Drake also take down all of his songs?
Oh.
Like he basically admitted defeat. Like all the diss tracks are gone. Like
They're
you can't
like
they live somewhere on the internet, but like you can't like go on Spotify and click
it's
Drake.
not like
and then,
he took his down. They're only like now in like illegal YouTube uploads because he was getting beaten so bad. His team was like, Kendrick is buying bots to like run up his songs, and it was like, it's not bots. It's just like a really good song. Like and then when Drake did the live concert on Juneteenth and did it 5 times, he played Not Like Us 5 times back to back with every famous person from LA on the stage.
Fantastic.
And that's when it was like,
that's
it's
fantastic.
done. Like, dude, sorry. And they even had like some basketball player from Toronto up there. And it was like, Drake, sorry.
Wowie wee wow. Ashley Ray, thank you
so fun
for being here.
I'm less thankful that you were here because you picked Chris, but this has been wonderful. Thank you, Ashley.
So many men in late night.
I am more grateful than he is.
We don't know. It's not always winner, please. It's not always a winner.
We also don't know whether or not Drake is
a man. Stop.
So let's
Dominick.
Why? You don't know, honey. All I'm saying is someone with a purse room. It's worth a question. It's worth how do you identify?
If Drake came out as bisexual in this show, then I would watch every episode. If he was a bisexual king.
That explains the BBL.
There was a part where I was going to pitch him like doing a like Missy Elliott style like thing where he's like, it's his face, but then like a woman's body. But then I was like, no, that doesn't fix anything. Like there was a part of me where it's like lean into like the surgeries. And then I was like, no, that actually like doesn't do it. And that just makes it worse.
But
actually.
if he is bi, I think he should just come out and like date like Kendall from Love Island. And that would be beautiful. Yeah.
Sure.
He would date Lance Bass. Let's not.
Ashley,
it's probably more his type.
Ashley.
You can follow me at the Ashley Ray everywhere. You can check out my podcast, TV I Say with Ashley Ray, wherever you listen to podcasts, or check out my new comedy album, Ice Cream Money, streaming wherever you listen to music or Drake.
Yes.
Wow. Wherever you listen to Drake.
That's right.
Listen to Aubrey.
Wherever you listen to AD Graham. Yep.
80 gram. Dominick, where can people find you?
Domentary.com or at Dominick Pupa on Instagram. Chris, where can the listeners find you?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelly? Goodbye.